Hello, good day. I'm making this video on the above question. What is the ultimate source of energy for all living organisms? Well, if you may be asked this question, what is the ultimate source of energy for all living organisms? What will you say? But here are the options. A. Water. B. Sunlight. C. Food. D. Oxygen, and E. Carbon dioxide. Well, if your option is option B, then you are absolutely correct, because the sunlight is the ultimate source of energy for all living organisms. Meanwhile, from the sunlight we have the solar energy. Now, going back to the field of chemistry, where we study chemicals, where we study chemical reactions, where we study matter and its composition. Every matter is said to compose of atoms, molecules, and ions. And what justifies between living and non-living matter is life. And every matter that has life is categorized as living matter. And in fact, it carried out biological processes. And it's due to the interaction of molecules or molecular interaction we have the physiological processes. And the physiological process requires energy. And the energy is utilized is chemical energy. But before having the chemical energy, what is the ultimate source of energy for all the physiological processes within living matter? Now, living matter, or in living matter, we have some that can be able to manufacture their own food, whereas some cannot be able to manufacture their own food. Meanwhile, those that cannot be able to manufacture their own food, they depend on those that can be able to manufacture their own food. And even those that can be able to manufacture their own food, they utilize a source of energy, which is regarded as the ultimate source of energy, which is the sunlight, or the solar energy from the sunlight. From those that can be able to manufacture their own food, we have the plant and other organisms, such as the green algae and cyanobacteria. They can be able to manufacture their own food via the process of photosynthesis, which they utilize the ultimate source of energy, which is the solar energy from the sunlight. And because they possess a pigment called the chlorophyll, or chlorophyll A, and that enables them to utilize the solar energy to manufacture their own food. For example, the plant carried out photosynthesis, and there are some organisms that cannot be able to manufacture their own food. They depend on plants, whereas some depend on animals, and animals depend on plants. When you quantify all those that depend on plants for their own food, and even those that depend on animals for their own food, they all directly or indirectly depend on plants. So plants utilize the ultimate source of energy, which is the sunlight or the solar energy. In the reaction, or in the starting materials or reactant in photosynthesis, we have the carbon dioxide and water. From where the plant get the carbon dioxide? From the atmosphere. From where they get the water? From the soil. And because they have the green pigment, the chlorophyll, they can be able to utilize the ultimate source of energy, which is the sunlight or the solar energy, to convert that carbon dioxide and water into carbohydrate or glucose and oxygen. So, in the reaction of photosynthesis, we have two steps reactions. We have the light reaction and the dark reaction. And the light reaction is whereby the ATP and NADPH are synthesized. And in the dark reaction is whereby the ATP and NADPH that are synthesized are now utilized in the fixation of carbon dioxide and water to carbohydrates and oxygen. So, and also plant utilize that carbohydrates, which is glucose, and they utilize that glucose for their energy, and also in the production of other substances such as the cellulose and starch. So, Light is the ultimate source of energy for all biological processes, for all living organisms. This is all what I have for you in this short video. I read out to be Mubarak Ismail MI. Common sense is always a useful check. Thank you.